question though, Jay. If Man United don't sign what people call a stereotypical CDM, do you think we will struggle next year to implement Ten Hag's system?
I mean, you don't know what the system is, so how could you, you don't really know. I see where the fear is coming from because it's the Premier League, and to not have somebody there with some physicality might, see Manchester United as maybe a weaker midfield. I do think that there's a level of like, there needs to be somebody in there that can do some mopping up. But equally, like, you don't want to have somebody that's like a traditional Sissoko type guy that can't really dribble a ball or pass a ball. Like, that's not what you want. So it's hard to find that balance. I do think that like a midfield of Eriksen, Donny van der Beek, and Frankie de Jong, it's looks really good on paper, but against some of the more physical sides, I could see them getting pressed and bumped around. And so it would be a matter of like, will the tiki-taka stand up? Like that kind of thing. But it's about the rest of the system. Does everything else work? And so you just have to wait and see. Like I really do think Manchester United fans need to wait and see, making a lot of assumptions based on their own wants and their own fears. And maybe Ten Hag knows what he wants to do. Maybe Fred or McTominay, players that are still in your side now, will play in that midfield and add a little bit of that, physicality. Both of those players have some physicality in them or some box-to-boxness about them. So I would just say, just wait and see, relax.
It's so spot on. And the reason I say you're spot on about that is because as much as McTominay frustrated me at times, Fred, people will be able to find the tweets. I don't care. They're neither good enough. Get rid of them. We all say things in the heat of the moment. But the one thing we have to maintain, which is true, and that we've said many, many times, is that Ollie wasn't a good enough coach. Well, first of all, Jose didn't want Fred. And I often think he was utilising McTominay in the wrong positions, playing in defence and stuff. I know Scotland playing there, but that's another conversation. Ollie came in and was a good guy, but didn't really have the system and the tactics. And it didn't work out with Ralph Rangnick. The same people that talk about world-class talent like Paul Pogba being ruined by Man United because of no training, no system, no coaching, they never apply their logic to the lesser players. If Pogba's game looks poor because of training and the system and the coaching, what do you think that does to players with less quality? like they're going to look even worse, right? It's just a simple thing. So you suddenly bring in someone like a Ten Hag that can create a system and get the very best out of what he's got. I'm not suggesting, even by the news today from the Times, that McTominay is going to go on to be a stalwart in this Man United team for 5 years. I think what will happen with the likes of Fred and McTominay is they will play in roles for the time being until the money is generated the following summers to bring in players to do their jobs in a better way. But Ten Hag isn't going to come out and say that. If he comes out on day one and says, yeah, Fred, McTominay, Rashford, Shaw, Maguire, him and him and him, none of them are good enough, and over the next couple of years they're gone, that dressing room's already destroyed. He needs to come out. People will call it PR, but it isn't PR. It's clever management. You need these players to believe it, to feel like they're being believed in, because he's going to have to utilize some players that a percentage of the fan base don't want. He can't just look how long it's taken Arteta to build his squad. In fairness, it took Pep 2 or 3 years. It took Klopp 3 or 4 years. It was only a few weeks ago, Klopp said in an interview that Minamino is Mr. FA Cup and Mr. Carabao Cup. He's brilliant for us. He then sold him. He sold him because he ain't good enough. He ain't good enough. And he sold him. And this is what will happen to certain players. It's almost, don't take everything Ten Hag says literally to the nth degree, and understand that an element of it is politics. It is a game, and over the course of time, if the manager is the right guy and the club backs him, he will move on the players that are not good enough. The problem is with football fans is, and we've had this conversation many times recently, football fans are too up in their own feelings. If a player's picked who they think should be sold, they're so offended that they act up. Or I've even seen it in particular fan bases. for players signed that they said, nah, there's no way that our manager's talent ID and profile of player and system would support the signing of a Gabriel Jesus or of a Raheem Sterling. And then the managers really want those players. And these guys can't accept the fact that their opinion was wrong. Does that make sense? And a lot of this is opinion based, you know, and it's fine for fans to have opinions, but sometimes you just got to let go and say, I was wrong about that one. The manager clearly sees something. Let's just relax and see what comes out of this, you know?
Yeah, I just think you got to wait and see. He's going to have to use some of those players, and it might be bumpy. I do think that, it may not. I'm not saying Manchester United will be terrible. All I'm saying is that it may take time for him to implement a system. He's not going to have the right pieces. If this is the window, you have Anthony, you have Frankie De Jong, you have Ericsson, and you have Malacia. Maybe you bring in one more. You still got a ways to go. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just one of those where Manchester United fans need to be patient. And I mean, if you trust Ten Hag, which I've seen a lot of, I trust him, then just relax. Like, there's nothing to worry about.
Yeah, exactly. And it's almost, don't be drawn out by the banter, because sometimes rivals have made it very easy for Man United fans to ride banter this year. You've told us all we're a dead club. You've told us all no one's going to downgrade to play for us. You've told us we're a joke. You've told us we're never, like, why are you excited, Terry? You're never going to achieve anything. It's great. That means there's no banter all season now from rivals. If we don't do well, they've already told us we're bad. You can't banter a bad team for being bad. That's not how banter works. Rival fans they're honestly, too many have shot their load too early with Man United. You should be saying, oh, I'm a little bit worried. I'm a little bit this. You guys could do something. Build it up and then go, you fouled. You've told us we're rubbish. You've done it now. You've got it out of the way. It's brilliant. You guys have done our jobs for us. It's so easy.
I mean, are you a little bit upset that people are counting you guys out? I mean, honestly.
No.
Do you feel like you deserve more respect, or
no? I feel like Man United teams that have won Premier Leagues and Champions Leagues and trebles need more respect. This Man United team being bantered, it's fair game, but you not thinking Man United are going to be any good, won't improve, will go backwards, doesn't change how I feel about my team and my club. So I can just take it on the chin. Now we can banter and have a laugh and joke on camera, but when all said and done and the dust settles, I don't walk away going, I can't believe an Arsenal fan doesn't rate Ten Hag. Because I know in my heart of hearts you're capping anyway. Like, I don't think anybody believes that Manchester United are going to be as bad as last year. I don't think there's a single football fan in England that thinks we're going to be as bad as last year. And as bad as we were last year, we were a couple of wins away from being in the top four. So as much as Arsenal and Spurs have kind of been celebrated for what they did last year, it's the worst we've ever been. And we were a handful of wins away from being in front of you guys. We're not a million miles away and we were awful. So we'll catch up and be in and around. We needed signings, we needed players, but it is what it is. And if everyone writes us off and says we're coming 6th or 7th, then the only way is up, isn't it? Like, we're not going to finish lower than that. Like, the only way is up. So yeah, I'm really relaxed about it. I'm not that worried. I'm not too frustrated. It's what it is. I'm so cool about it. Like,
it's like the way you're saying it is funny.
It is what worried. But I'm not, it's funny really, because
does Terry look worried, guys?
Is Terry look worried? It is what it is. But viewers, listen, Terrell Malacia, Frankie De Jong, expected both to be Manchester United players. On top of that, the decision this week will come in for Christian Eriksen as well. Let's go to some more super chats.
Yeah.
The Frankie De Jong deal is impressive from a rival. Just need United to give him KDB money. Now, it's already been, the money's already been revealed. He's going to be on £250,000 a week, 100k pay cut from his Barcelona salary. But equally, though, that's not actually that hard for Man United. Because if you read, again, the Barca press, Barca were going to renew his deal and half his salary. So he's still earning 100 grand a week more at Man United than his new deal at Barca would have given him. But it's £100,000 less than they had been paying him. So he's kind of, and Man United would be clever about that. It's like, well, listen, they're going to reduce your pay anyway if you want to stay. So what are you going to do? So yeah, look, 250 grand a week is what he's going to be on salary-wise at Manchester United. Terry, this is embarrassing. He does not play the Busquets role. He is incapable of that. He plays in a double pivot. He can't play 4-3-3 like Busquets. Again, my guy, this isn't my opinion. This is what I've read and seen from multiple Dutch football experts. And Barcelona experts who say, I don't think we've really
What are
utilised
you doing? Just
Barcelona.
say
I love
Barcelona.
how they say it. I
Don't.
love the Barcelona, the Catalonian accent with
I'm
Barcelona. I love
dead.
it. It's great. I love it. I like when people do that. People do it every now and then is they speak with an English accent and they throw a word, throw the accent in it. It's funny. Like when I say cafe, and I'm like, why you put the French accent on it? Just say caf. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, like for me, I'm only going by what I'm reading and being told by experts that don't think he's been utilized right. So we'll see what happens, my friend.
Mhm.